Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator King. Senator Shmitt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a couple of questions, but let me try to give voice to what I think a lot of folks out there who are not sitting in these chairs feel about where we're at with regard to this policy. They have seen an administration disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Hundreds or tens of billions of dollars worth of equipment left behind, critical intelligence. They are told about this respecting the sovereignty of other countries' borders, but do nothing about the millions of people streaming across our southern border and the fentanyl that's killing 300 people a day in every single one of our communities, the violence, the humanitarian crisis, human beings being trafficked by drug cartels. They see a president go to Ukraine before he goes to Ohio, where there is a toxic chemical spill. And a lot of people who feel forgotten in all this are frustrated. And so I suppose my first question, I guess to all of you, briefly, because I have limited time, is $113 billion. Now, we can talk about percentage of GDP, but for most folks out there, that's a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot of money. $113 billion is a lot of money when you have a porous open border. In fact, it's more money than we spend on the Department of Homeland Security every year. What can be done to ensure that these dollars are fully accounted for beyond what we're doing right now? And I guess that's the first question I have for each of you, if you have a point of view on that.
Well, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Senator, my understanding is that we do have mechanisms in place. This has been discussed this
Well, my
morning
question
as well.
is,
Yeah.
let's say you're not satisfied with that. What else can be done?
Senator, I think you can provide more. We don't have, for example, a special inspector general that's currently in Kyiv. We should probably put a full team on board to make sure that the accountability is there. It's a matter of emphasis. And what you saw, we had the same thing in Afghanistan and places like that before, where you put a special IG that's able to track all of that. So if you're saying what to do more, that's kind of what I would say. And the Ukrainians are very willing to accept that. They understand they've got corruption issues. They told us that when we were there. They're not running from it. You know, I think it would behoove us to actually improve that accountability. And the second, you asked a great question. I think we have a terrible messaging problem to the American people. Right now, we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. You can do all of this if you want to. You just have to be committed to it. And I don't think we are committed to it.
Well, and let me just, so we've heard a lot about this, existential threat to Ukraine and to Europe. I suppose, again, part of the frustration is the American people, the American taxpayers, they don't see these European countries stepping up. They just don't, and we can talk about percentage of GDP, but Germany has walked away. There's other countries in Europe that could be doing a lot more. And so I guess my question is, General Kellogg, to you, what specifically can those European countries do? This is in their backyard. And you mentioned, fight them there or fight them here. I don't know if that's I don't think that most Americans believe that we're at a point where we're going to be fighting the Russians on American soil. So we're in the European theater here. What can these European countries do to step up? Because they got a lot of money for a lot of their social welfare programs in those countries, but they don't seem to have a lot of money for this, existential threat.
Well, the comment you made is accurate because, for example, as I said, use the Kiel Institute, which tracks this very, very well. Only 6% of the European stocks in the European Union of military stocks have been used. Unlike the Brits, who 25% of their stock has been used. They do need to step up more. And how you get them to step up more, very candidly, is do what President Trump did, is stand up and use the presidency as a bully pulpit and say, this is what needs to get done. And we need to tell them that. We cannot be continuing to expect that the United States of America will carry 50% of the load. And that's what it's carrying when you analyze these other 41 countries. It's in their backyard. Over a year ago, before this war started, I said, this is a European fight. It is before an American fight. But once the fight was joined, they said, okay, now we're into the game. Now we have to fight. But yes, you're absolutely correct. They're not doing enough, but you have to get the president willing to say that and force them to do that. And they're not doing that right now. And we're not pushing them, and they're not supporting them to the degree they should support.
Thank you. My time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Shmitt. Senator Rosen, please.
Thank you, Chairman Reed. Of course, Ranking Member Wicker isn't here, but we really appreciate that you're holding this timely hearing on the ongoing war in Ukraine.